Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Welcome as well to a Tesla Model 3 that a friend of mine kindly lent me. This is a video that perhaps neither I thought I would ever be doing, but the reality is that these cars, they are all around these days and they do serve a purpose. I'm going to review this car and I'm going to give you my perspective coming from what is a petrolhead, someone that actually likes cars that make noises, that suck, squeeze, bang, blow. This car is a complete departure from the types of cars that I like. I know that a lot of people are really mad at Elon right now, and if you just put that aside, Elon and his current political endeavors, if you put all of that aside, this car is going to annoy a lot of people. Don't think of this car as a replacement for your VW GTI, a replacement for your C43 AMG, nothing like that. And do bear in mind that this is a regular Model 3. It is regular. It's not the most basic, it is the long range all-wheel drive model. This car isn't going to replace all of those powerful cars. What this car is trying to replace is the regular old car that you get from a C-Class to a 3 Series to an Audi A4, something along those lines. In my review, what I'm going to try and show you is exactly that, is how good or bad this car is at mundane things, at the things that it wants to be good at, just simply wants a spot in the everyday car. And if you look at this car through those lenses, it does make a hell of a compelling argument. This is a Tesla Model 3. I'm not even sure what model it is. Okay, I just press the brake pedal. The seat starts moving to what I assume is his position, and it can see that I have a car in front of me, so it's suggesting me to go backwards. So the only thing that I have to do is just press the throttle. Why am I doing this video right now? It's basically because this is my first impression. Okay, yeah, very convenient. Okay, now if I want to go forward, I just slide this, and now, okay, now it's telling me it allows me to go forward. First thing that I noticed while I was driving back there, the indicators being on the actual steering, the way that they're set up, it's actually pretty bad, at least in my opinion. He did not brief me anything about this car. Now, if I want to adjust my steering wheel in a regular car, it's either manual or you have some sort of stock or something like that. Oh, it tells me that it's green. That's nice. If I want to text. As I was saying, in a regular car, you get a stalk or some sort of button right here to move the steering column. On this, it's all done via the screen. I haven't fiddled with it yet. Okay, when you turn on the camera, when you turn on the blinkers, it turns on a blind spot camera on either side, which is interesting. One thing that I can say, it is rather comfortable, yes. Right now it's in relaxed mode. It's very comfortable. Going back to the steering, if I want to adjust, why are you beeping at me? Oh, because it's a 10 km/h and I'm doing 15. Okay. So far, lots of beeps. I want to adjust my steering. How? How can I do this? Swipe? No. Is it here? No. Oh, there's a car right here. Okay. Car. Controls. Glove box, mirrors, steering. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. And I use this switch. Okay. It's a bit of a faff, to be honest. Why are you beeping at me? It's because of the speed? Yeah, it is, I think. It's a bit of a faff to adjust the steering, but let's be honest, you're not going to be adjusting your steering every single time you drive the car. I noticed that it's got double glazed windows, so it's very quiet. You are on a busy city right now. I'm stopped, but probably you can hear now cars working, petrol. I close this and it's stupid quiet. I'm in the middle of a city right now. I want to activate the autonomous driving thing. Here? Okay. Okay, it's doing its thing. I'm just, okay. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's steering by itself, it's accelerating by itself, it's doing the speed limit. Every now and then I need to actually apply some force to the steering wheel, apply a little bit of force. Okay, shoot. So funny, it was telling me to apply a little bit of force. I did, and it disconnected. I'm going through a tunnel. Let's hope I'm not the next Diana. I'm going through a tunnel, and there's a corner right here. It's incredible what these things can do, actually. See, I was applying a little bit of force because it was asking me to, and it switched off the autonomous driving. Yeah, the blind spot camera is interesting. The fact that it's not actually in your line of sight, you need to look here, is a bit disconcerting. I keep reaching for a stock for the blinkers. That's florid. Yeah. It's really brisk. Funny. So when you let go of the throttle, I was just full throttle right now. When you let go of the throttle, it doesn't seem like it cuts power immediately. It's as if it was full power and then gradually cuts power. Right now, the cameras, they are seeing cars, blinkers, people, motorcycles. It's incredible, actually. Steering feel for this type of driving that I'm doing, it's very electric, yes, but it does have a certain weight to it. It's not actually terrible. Ooh. Yeah. So, yeah. The real thing with these cars, I had to merge. There were two cars, no space for me to merge, right? No space. Ooh, Jesus. Shut up. No space for me to merge. But there was a gap ahead of the first car, and I was able to just fly into it. It's very immediate the way that it delivers power. And remember, I'm in relaxed mode. Oh, it's got blind spot detection thingies with little red lights on the corners. Plane. The difference is astounding, actually. It's much, much quieter. Incredible. All right, so today is the next day. I purposefully parked this car here to begin this video. Tesla, in an effort to reduce clutter, they went away with the turn signal stock, they went away with the gear selector stock. Now, one of the features that this car has, which is I think still in beta, is its situational awareness when it comes to selecting a gear. So you have a selector here. I'm going to activate the screen now by just pressing the brake. The car basically comes on, and the car, it has cameras, it has sensors, and it can tell that there is a car in front of me. So the logical thing to do right now is to reverse, and the car is suggesting for me to reverse right now. I've caught it doing silly stuff already, but when it works, it's tremendously good. I'm gonna show you now. I need to press the brake again. Okay, sorry. I needed to press the throttle. Sometimes it's confusing, actually. I'm pressing the throttle, I'm gonna reverse enough so that I can leave the parking space, and now it's telling me that I just need to turn the steering to activate drive. That's what I did. I did not touch anything to actually select gears. While yes, I do find that this selector here is a bit of a faff. I did get used to it, but nonetheless, it's a bit of a faff. But the situational awareness integrated into the gear selection that Tesla has developed, it does seem quite good. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. One of the other scenarios where it works very, very well is if you want to do a 3-point turn. I'm gonna pull up to this place right here. Okay, no more place to go. Yeah, see, it doesn't recognize. I need to actually select the gear myself. But I will show you a situation where it works. But I've had this feature work on me, and I'm going to try and find a situation where it works on video so that I can show you. But as I said, I do think that this is in beta. Let's see if it understands that I want to. Okay. It understood, yeah. He wants to do a 3-point turn. Let the man do a 3-point turn. As easy as that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The fact that it does sometimes and it doesn't sometimes does create that little friction where you're unsure if it's going to work that time that you really need it. So you need to be vigilant. It's not a complete system where you just relax and you know that it's going to work. That to me is a comfort feature, which I am enjoying. In terms of comfort, I'm in a cobblestone road right now, and this car, it doesn't have the biggest wheels, so the tire is meaty. It's got a lot of rubber. And I can also tell that the suspension isn't super soft. I think due to the weight of the car and also the tires that it has, it is quite a supple drive. The overall comfort levels are very good. You're not going to be disappointed if you go for a spec like this. Yeah, you hear this beep. This car is Beepville. Why? Because it beeps for a plethora of reasons. Now it was beeping because this is a 20 km/h road and I was doing 25. You can turn it off, yes. I'm gonna just let it beep at you once more so that you can understand how annoying it gets. All in all, if you are a person that doesn't really pay attention to speed limit, yeah, I'm gonna turn it off now. In terms of comfort, I cannot go over this without mentioning. This car has laminated windows all around. I'm gonna open the window right now. There is all this noise. I'm gonna close the window. That motorcycle that was next to me, I basically stopped hearing it. The level of insulation that you get on this car is incredible, actually. It is super well insulated. You hear basically very little noise coming from outside. It is very quiet. As I was saying before, Tesla did away with the stalks. I am a firm believer that certain stalks and certain buttons should not be integrated into displays, into digital ways of input. Why? Well, steering. All steering adjustments are done with the screen. How many times do you adjust your steering? Yes, I know, not many. Okay, I'll give you that one. But the one that I do not give is mirrors. You adjust your mirrors with the screen as well. There is a slight learning curve to the inputs of this car because we are not, at least I was not used to this type of inputs. I'm used to the inputs that the automotive industry has used us to. They are very simple, they are very basic, they are just right there. This car, for example, if I want to adjust anything, steering or mirrors, I need to go to this car menu right here. While I drive, there is a certain level of menu digging that you must do. To sum up the comfort, this specific car is very comfortable, both in suspension and in overall quietness. You don't have an engine roaring. You have great isolation from the outside. The overall experience is a very quiet and calm driving experience. To give you context, I'm not a Tesla fanboy. I do not wish to own a Tesla. I may come out of this video with a bigger desire to maybe own a Tesla, and I'll explain why. And do put away the predicaments that you have currently with Elon Musk and his political endeavor. Because look at this car simply as a product of Tesla, not as a product of Elon. You are getting a, let's say, perhaps C-class type of car, size, etc., for probably a cheaper price. And first and foremost, I do think that Tesla is a software-driven company. Why do I say this? Well, your interaction with this car, it goes mainly through this screen. And what I can tell you is that it's very Apple-like. Everything works in a very Apple-like way. It's very smooth. The camera array that it has, it detects everything. Cars, people, poles in the road, everything, animals. It is very good at that. Tesla did put out a very good experience. You are basically buying a competitor of a C-class, of a 3 Series, for example. But the amount of tech and the amount of gear that you get with this car, it's incredible. You get full LED headlights. You get a car that upgrades and upgrades and upgrades it's software. You get heated seats, which is, I mean, not every car has it, but a lot of cars have it. But you also get cooled seats, which it's one of those features that I really like to have on cars, and not every car gets that. My idea for this review is to compare it. Let's say that you've driven combustion engine cars your whole life, and now all of a sudden you have these brands, with Tesla leading the way, I do believe, pushing electric cars down your throat, and in the back of your mind, electric cars are crap. I had this thought yesterday. Imagine the majority of people, I think, that like cars have watched 60 Seconds. Imagine 60 Seconds with electric cars. I mean, there would be no 60 Seconds, right? So I like fossil burning engines. However, I can understand a car like this can make sense. Why? Well, because to be fair, the majority of people, they want a vehicle that is reliable and that will take them from point A to point B. The everyday consumer that just wants a car to take them from home to work, from work to the gym, from gym back home, an electric car, especially a Tesla, is a great idea. And I'm probably gonna get murdered by the keyboard warriors. I don't think I really can win. On one side you have the Tesla fanboys who can beat any M3 from a standstill, that don't get the point of a regular powered car, and then you have the keyboard warrior Tesla hater that hates everything Tesla and everything electric. Be an adult for once in your life and look at this as, let's say, an appliance. I'm looking at this car as that. I'm just using it as a regular old car. And what I can tell you with confidence is that this is an exceptional car. Air conditioning working flawlessly. It's got zero rattles, creaks, or anything of that sort. The interior of this car is super quiet, both from the outside in as well as inside. There nothing creaks. I think that's also in part because there isn't an engine vibrating up front. Now that we got that out of the way and that you're looking at this car just as a vehicle from point A to point B, let's say no 63 AMGs, no nothing like that. You're just looking at this as a tool to go about your life. It's very, very good. Why? Well, it's got a plethora of things that make your life easier. We've established now that if you do sub 100, even 200 kilometer per day trip on your daily commute, this car is a very good option. Let me remind you, there is no service basically on these cars. These cars change tires, air filter for the cabin. These cars have basically zero maintenance. There is an argument to be made that what's going to happen in 10 years when the batteries go bye-bye. Yes, I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen. It does look like I'm trying to convince you to buy a Tesla. I'm not trying to convince you to buy a Tesla. This thing actually is really good. Apart from certain things in the lack of switchgear and certain Tesla nuances, it's a tremendously well put together car. Tesla, in the short amount of time that they've been putting out cars, they've been able to make very good product. There is very little in terms of physical controls in this car. Then you've got all of these features. What does this remind you? Does it remind you of your phone? Well, that's because it is very phone-like. People are very used to their phones. So Tesla, I do believe, purposefully made this whole array look very much like your phone because you're just familiar with it. Your HVAC controls, your heater, your AC, all hidden right here. You can control the back, you can control the front. You adjust the airflow like so. You can split it. You can point it where you feel like it. Heated steering wheel. You have camp mode. You have dog mode. So all of these little features, that's Tesla for you. At least I do think that that's Tesla for you. One of the key selling points of Tesla is how quick they can be. Right now, this car is in relax mode. I'm gonna floor it. I'm going uphill. This is quite uphill actually. It gets a move on very quickly. However, if I go here, and I press normal, it goes so much quicker. It's incredible. It's silly. It's really, really silly. I cannot even imagine how quick Plaid must be. It's like you're playing a video game, really. I don't know why Tesla, they do not quote power figures, but I believe it's 300 horsepower at least. And for an everyday car, it is plentiful. One benefit of being electric is that power delivery is instant. You have to wait for no one or anything. There is, for example, a gap that you want to merge in traffic. Yeah. You can very easily find those gaps. With this car, you have that added safety. So I am a firm believer that power is safety if you know how to use it, of course. And this car does have a good amount of power, and it's very instantaneous. Did you hear that? That was the car telling me, it's green, sir. You can stop scrolling Instagram. Being an electric car, you have one pedal driving. I haven't found a way to turn one pedal driving off. It is well calibrated. However, I do find that there is a lack of immediacy when you need to press the brake. I'm going to test it here. See, the brakes aren't as immediate as I would like. Another thing that isn't as immediate as I would like in either relaxed or normal mode is I'm giving it the beans, full throttle, and I let go of the throttle. It does not stop accelerating immediately. There's a momentum that was built, and it takes a little while to cancel. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm going to test now how it is to drive in a twisty road. Yeah, it's very zippy. The thing is, driving it with just one pedal, it's very unnatural at first. The steering, it's very direct. It is very numb. I feel nothing. I go over potholes. Nothing. If I was wearing headphones, yeah, nothing. This is where this car shines. Jesus. It takes off so quickly. Let's see. I mean, it does have a lot of grip. It is not all that pleasurable. Ooh, is that a Dino? A Dino. Ooh, an E-Type. Let me see if I can turn on. I just engaged Autopilot. This car has the less advanced Autopilot system. It's the one that comes as standard. I've been driving with it every now and then to test it out. There were instances where there were no lines on the road, it got confused, and it started swerving a bit. There were instances where it just lost the plot because it saw something, it started, see, look. Yeah, this was caught on camera, hopefully. It saw something, it started to brake. Not 100% sure if it's because it's the most basic version or if even the highest spec version would do this, but sometimes it sees things that aren't there. Sometimes it drives like this, zigzagging the road. Sometimes it just thinks it's gonna crash or something and it just disengages. So I guess that on highway, on motorway, on long drives, it's better than on these little drives. However, they are pushing for fully autonomous driving. Tesla have stepped up their game from the last Model 3 to this Model 3. I will not question that. This Model 3, it does look very polished. I can say that it looks nice. It's appealing the way it looks. However, it's a very bland design. It does not look exciting. It looks polished. It just doesn't look, to my eyes, super beautiful. Interior, very minimalist, very straightforward. It's not a bad place to be by any means, but it's not a super interesting place to be. It's got at the back a nice little screen that you can control the air back there. You can watch, again, Netflix, YouTube, all those things. If you have kids in the back and you are doing a long drive, that screen can be a lifesaver. I'm yet to charge this car. I have been hearing that the charging grid and the charging infrastructure is what lets this car, these electric cars, not Tesla. I think Tesla is one of the best if you find a Tesla supercharger. But if you do rely on regular old chargers from other companies, you are at the mercy of them being working. There is that fear in the back of my head, at least. I was gonna make you think that this was all the same day. That's why I wore the same clothes. Yes, I'm wearing the same clothes. Don't judge me. I'm being honest. It's the third day that I've been with this car so far, and overall I've been enjoying it very much. I had a list of things that I wanted to show for the video, which I do believe I've brushed over most of them. Now there is the range. Right now I have 49% battery left. I charged this car yesterday when I went to the supermarket. Everything worked fine. It charged from 22% to 62% in 30 minutes. So, I mean, I consider that very decent. For the everyday trip, it's more than enough. It's really, really adequate. There were plenty of chargers, but now, if there are more cars, there will not be enough chargers. There will need to be more chargers. However, right now I have 48% battery, which gives me 260 kilometers of range with AC on, cool seats on as well. And I want to do a 37-minute trip, which is 21 kilometers. It's saying that I'm gonna get there with 44% battery still left. Let's see if that's actually true. So 4% decrease in a 37-minute, 21-kilometer drive. Doesn't really seem that bad. When we get there, I'm gonna try and find a place where I can charge this car and see if it's fast, if it's not fast. I want to learn about this car. One of the reasons why I'm going to where I'm going is because I do think that this car excels at being great at what it is in the city, where it's noisy, where there's traffic, driving slowly. I think this car does excel at that. I also think that this car, it's very Mosquito-like. It's very go-karty. It's very pointy. The steering is very, very direct, and I need to go now. I mean, yeah, see? Now, blinkers. Using the blinkers, now I need to look at the steering to press the button. What was wrong with a freaking stock? It's been there for years. I have a big gripe with innovation just for the sake of innovation. So much so that they actually went back, because a stock is incredible at doing what it does. It's always where you expect it to be, down for left, up for right, that's it. And there you go. We are 200 meters away from the set destination. We have 44% battery life with 236 kilometers of range, according to the type of driving that I've been doing. I wasn't gentle. I used air conditioning. I used it as a regular car, and it did a terrific job at getting me here. So it passes with flying colors. As I said before, I was able to charge the car yesterday, no problem, when I went to the supermarket. I'm more doubtful of these chargers right here. I've never used them. I have no idea what type of cable they take. I do have a cable in the back of the car. I'm going to try and see if I can get this to work or not. Okay, so, okay. So it says it's not possible to charge because the charging station is disconnected. I'm not even joking. I wasn't able to charge here. So that's one of the issues, at least that I had in my mind before I used this car as my daily, which was, okay, the charging network might be the weak point of this whole experience. And as it turns out, the second charger I tried charging, it's disconnected. Okay, let's try and find another one. I don't want it to be underground. I've used my phone because I tried here searching for charging spots. and I think it's just giving me superchargers, something like that. Basically, there are no superchargers here. So I'm using my phone to actually drive to, hypothetically, a charger that I can use. Yeah, I do think, yeah, this was underground. Goodness gracious. I need to go to an underground parking and pay to get charger? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, there's a charger, but a car is there, and the car behind it isn't electric, or is it? Oh, Jesus. This will be my last attempt at finding a charging station. I can see there's one right there. There's one car charging. I do think there's an empty spot for another car to charge. Yeah, I'm gonna give that one a try. Will I? Shut up. Will I succeed in getting this car to charge? This can't be true. Oh, this one. Oh. Guess what? Out of order. That car is charging. It has two chargers effectively. It's out of order. I am not making this up. I've heard stories from other people saying, oh, charging your car can be troublesome. It can be difficult. The chargers might not be working. Yada, yada, yada. People weren't lying. The charging network can be very unpredictable. I'm gonna give it another try to the charger that I was already going to before spotting this one. I'm reaching my destination because apparently, and it's probably inside. This can't be. It's inside a parking. Yeah, it is. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense. I do know that it's more convenient from an organization point of view, but having every single charger inside every parking garage, now you have two expenses. You need to pay for the parking and you need to pay for charging. This is me officially quitting. I'm gonna start with my dislikes. Right now, top spot, charging network or the charging station when it's not provided by Tesla, at least. So the charging experience that I just had proves what other people had been saying in other countries, at least, where it can be very hit and miss. And it was exactly what happened to me. It didn't work. I would need to go into an underground parking, pay for parking on that parking garage, and charge the car there. Hopefully the chargers would be working. The network on the streets, it didn't work at all. So that's, to me, that's my biggest dislike, and I think it's the biggest drawback to actually owning one of these cars. Second dislike, mirror, steering wheel adjustments done via the screen. They are buried underneath this screen, a layer of menus. I know they're trying to go for a simple car. I know that they can save money by not giving you a switch, but it's just not as convenient. Another big dislike in my book, you might see some footage of me driving around roundabouts. You're driving around a roundabout, you've got your left blinker on, and then you need to turn on the right blinker to exit the roundabout, and you are looking at the steering, trying to figure out, okay, is it this way, that way? A turn signal. It is so simple, it can be so elegant, and it does the job perfectly. I've said it here as another like, but it's basically the same thing. High beams. If you want to flash someone because it's an emergency, because you just want to flash, it's on the steering. It's not as convenient as pulling a stalk just to flash someone, to let someone go, whatever it is. Another dislike, and this is my feeling, I do not think that other drivers enjoy Teslas all that much. Maybe because the typical Tesla driver might be a little bit cocky or something like that, because they're driving something that will toast 90% of the cars on the street. I feel like people don't really want to let me merge. I do not have the best feeling when it comes to other drivers enjoying Tesla, my Tesla at least. This is another dislike. It's subjective, obviously, like the majority of these. I see other people driving Teslas around, Model 3s mostly, and I do think that it doesn't look all that nice when you're driving it. The dash line is very low, which does create better visibility, but seen from the outside, especially if you are a bigger person, it looks like you're driving a basket, to me, that's all that I'm reminded of. You are driving sort of a basket, and I do not really like how the car looks while being driven. My last dislike is, so I noticed that there is a lack of immediacy both on throttle and brake. What do I mean by this? When you step on the throttle, the car is immediate to give you power. There's power instantly. However, when you lift off the throttle, it's like the power doesn't cut away immediately. It progressively cuts. It may have something to do with regenerative braking, but there is definitely a certain delay when you lift off the throttle, which when you are trying to drive it more briskly, like the Mosquito that this car is, in the middle of town, I feel like a mosquito. I can just go zoom, zoom, zoom everywhere. It's not a very good feeling. I also get that feeling with the brake, but it's when I press the brake. So whenever I need to press the brake immediately to get an emergency braking or something like that, it doesn't seem like the brakes act immediately. It looks like there is a certain delay, and it's not a very good sensation, to be honest. Still on the topic of brakes, considering how fast this car is, I do think that these brakes are a DBX. Underpowered for the amount of power that this car has. This car gains speed in such a quick way, but it does not lose speed in a very confidence-inspiring manner. Moving on to my likes with this car. How smooth it is. It's an incredible experience how smooth it is. You're just driving around town. There's no engine vibration. There's no excess noise coming from outside because laminated windows. The car probably is very well insulated. You do not hear any rattles inside. It's very, very well put together. So I do feel like it's a tremendous place to be in and to drive around. My second like is how instant the power is. There is a gap to merge, you can fit in it. There is someone that's going to hit you for some reason, you can use power to get out of that situation. Not only is it very immediate, it's got a very good amount of power. In relaxed mode, it's more relaxed. In normal mode, it's very, very quick. It's actually very quick, this car. Another like, the infotainment screen and the software behind it, it's very Apple-like. If you are used to using an Apple product, you will feel right at home using this screen to control the car. Everything, it's very intuitive. I like it very much. I don't like that you have to go through the screen for everything, but it does have a load of features and it's very, very intuitive to use. The blind spot cameras, that's another like of mine. You turn on the turn signal, you get here on the screen a little cutaway from the mirror camera, I think it's a mirror, or maybe below the mirror, letting you see if there's someone in the blind spot without having to look backwards. It's a very good feature. I like that very much. Another feature that I really like is the situational awareness gear change. So as I've probably showed you, you are doing a 3-point turn, the car understands that you are doing a 3-point turn, or if you're in front of a gate or another car, it understands, okay, you're probably going to want to reverse, so it suggests that gear. You just need to do certain inputs like press the brake, turn the steering, things of that nature, and it will on its own select reverse or drive. When you're doing a 3-point turn, it's very convenient. You don't need to faff around with the selection here. I've brushed over this like a little bit before, but build quality inside is very good. This car has done nearly 30,000 kilometers and there's no squeaks, there's no rattles. Everything seems very solid. Wherever you press, everything is solid. They use, I don't think this is real leather, but fake leather that's good quality. They have this little light bar around which isn't incredible, but it's good quality. The screen, very good quality as well. Air conditioning, top notch. So right now it's 35 degrees. I'm parked right here. The car is silent. I'm very cool. It's got cool seats. So the build quality, the amount of tech and gear that you get is great. And the lack of noises, it's incredible. So I do think that this car is very well put together. And lastly, the sound system. It does not have a roaring exhaust or engine that makes sound to make you happy. It does have a killer sound system. It doesn't have any brand that I can see, at least, but it's got an incredible sound system. I was listening to some tunes while I was looking for charging stations in the middle of the city, and The bass, the highs, everything very, very good. These are my likes and dislikes with this car. I've been enjoying this car very much. I want to thank my friend for lending me this car for a few days. I'm going to use it a couple more days. The experience overall has been top-notch. The charging network isn't all to my liking, but if you do have somewhere at home to charge, that can be a no issue to you. If you have the car at 80%, you'll get probably 500 kilometers out of a charge, which is more than enough for everyday duty. Unless you are doing very big trips regularly, then you might want to avoid this type of car. But for someone that lives in the middle of the city that can charge their car without issues either at work or at home, or they know a charging station where they can reliably charge, this car is very good. I do not get all the hate that Teslas get, but this car, considering that this brand is so recent, they've put out an incredible product. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get this channel to 1 million followers, and I'll see you on the next one.